reviewing a highly requested fragrance that I believe to be one of the best spring summer fragrances for a niche lover out there. That is Xerjoff's Renaissance. Now this has been super requested for me to review, so let's see if it's worth the price or not, because this ain't cheap. Before I get into what this fragrance smells like, I want to thank Nefarious Saint for literally peer pressuring me to do this review, so you guys can thank them in the comments below. Presentation to Xerjoff bottles, I absolutely love. I think that they look super premium and luxurious. So it has their Xerjoff plaque on the front. On the bottom it says 1861 Renaissance, because this is in the 1861 line, just like Naxos. When you switch around to the back, you see a little bit of an engraving there. Caps are super premium on Xerjoff bottles. Like you could use this as a pen or like a letter opener or a deadly weapon. Like,
please help me.
For legal purposes, I am not suggesting that. On the top of the atomizer, that is where you get a Xerjoff logo again. And then on the bottom of the bottle, you see stickers with information displaying the concentration of this fragrance, which is eau de parfum, and the batch code, mine is 01325N for anyone that actually cares, okay? Xerjoff Renaissance was made in 2011. I don't know who the perfumer is, but it was made in Italy. So presentation of the bottle, premium. Let's look at even how it's even more premium. The box. Xerjoff does this right, in my opinion. It's a luxury product. You need to spend a lot of money to get it. It should feel luxury in every aspect. This is what the box looks like. It says Xerjoff on the front, displaying the fragrance name here, Renaissance. On the other side is the Xerjoff logo. Opening it up gets even more premium.
Stop it. Get some help.
This thing. This is what I think adds to the luxury feel. It's almost like this leather coffret or something. I don't know how you actually pronounce that. The fragrance sits inside of here. You open this up, it says Xerjoff logo in there, and then the bottle sits like that. Super nice, super luxurious. Love that. And that is why I can slightly justify the price. So none of that matters at all in the least. Let's discuss the scent profile, but first, the notes. Top notes to this fragrance is Amalfi lemon, tangerine, bergamot with petitgrain. The middle notes are mint, lily of the valley, and rose, with the base notes musk, Virginia cedar, patchouli, and amber. Before I discuss what I smell, check out this atomizer. Decent. Nothing amazing. I want you to picture this as a citrus green fragrance. This is what this is at its core. In the opening, I will say that I do pick up a little bit more on that tangerine and lemon. The thing with this lemon though is it does differ towards the dry down. And I think that the actual citrus in here was blended very nicely with the other ingredients to make it less of a citrus bomb, but more of this like almost creamy citrus note, like you would get out of like a almost gourmandy fragrance. It's kind of odd the way the citrus is placed in this fragrance. Now, as this calms down, I do pick up mostly on that Amalfi lemon, I do get the tangerine, and I definitely get the mint, which almost makes this like bordering into that mojito kind of category of fragrances. I do love how the citrus was done in here because it smells very high quality, it smells very luxurious, and I do like that the other notes combine together to kind of tone down the citrus as this dries down. So it's more like going from a citrus bomb to going to more like a creamy textured, almost gourmandy lemon. And then after that, it almost has a little bit more soapy aspects. So this in itself has different stages with greenery always underneath it. Towards the third stage, like I said, it is a little bit more soapy. This is actually a soapy fragrance. It's a soapy, fresh, clean fragrance with some greenery in there, all smelling extremely high quality, kind of smelling like a luxury hotel or a spa, something like that. It's so nice. I really, really enjoy this fragrance. That being said though, I think that this is best suited for springtime and kind of summer when it's not extremely hot, because I think that if this was worn in the extreme high heat, it might be a little bit too cloying. The amber that's in here definitely contributes to the more vanillic tones that make it a little bit more creamy in the citrus. I think that the amber here is adding this little sweetness that kind of blends everything together nicer. I really wanted to get a secondary opinion on this fragrance, so I had to ask my buddy Chad from A Gentleman's Journey his opinion on this, so let's see what he had to say. I'm not just getting my opinion on this fragrance, I'm getting the OG Chad from A Gentleman's Journey's opinion on this fragrance. And if you don't like it, please feel free to crap all over it.
This is something that I enjoy.
Yeah, you like it?
I'm all about my freshies. I'm always about my cheapies, which this is not, but this is very smooth. It's very well blended. This is bright. It's very much like today. It's bright, It's zesty, it's energizing. There is a little bit of mint. I'm not sure if that's gonna be like bergamot or orange or if it's gonna be like lemon, but there is something that's very citrusy, very calming at the same time.
Yes.
Calming, relaxing, but that just kind of alerts your senses. Like the mint itself kind of like, ooh, perks you up a little bit.
It really does.
It's not original.
No.
Like this for me kind of goes along the lines of like Arancia di Capri from Acqua di Parma, or
can see that.
or other Acqua di Parma fragrances. Like it smells like a little old school, but like with a modern touch.
I totally see where you're coming from there. And considering it's 2011, it's not dated in any
this
sort of way.
This type of DNA has been there and done that, and it's just timeless. So like 2011, in 50, 60, even 100 years, this is the type of stuff that will still be produced.
If price point was normal, is this something that you would pick up or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if I can get this, and people are probably gonna roast me in the comments,
Okay.
but I'm all about the affordability. If this was like $100 or less, then yes. But I do have stuff like this in my collection with like the Acqua di Parmas.
What do you think about age ranges on this one?
Well, this is pretty much like ageless. Like just because it's so citrusy, it's clean, it's fresh. So I think that someone who's 10 years old, all the way to 100 years old, could wear something like this. But because of the price tag, this is like, it's older. It's like 30 and up. But smell-wise, it's ageless.
Definitely check out Chad from A Gentleman's Journey while you're at it. Okay, so now the scent profile has been discussed. Let's talk about the downside of this fragrance, the price tag. I bought this for around 190 Canadian dollars. The retail for this is around 320 Canadian dollars. I'm not sure what it is now because I can't find it on discounters for a good price, but if I do, I will list it in the description. That is the downside of Xerjoff fragrances. It's a niche brand. It's made for a niche of people who like to spend money. That's their luxury. That is their luxury niche. In terms of its quality, it smells very high quality, but for that price, for a freshie, it's hard to recommend. But I mean, if you're used to spending LV money, Louis Vuitton money, like Imagination, this is cheap considering it's literally more than half the price on discounters, which you can't get Louis Vuitton fragrances for a discount. But to discuss the progression of stages of this fragrance, I want to talk about the performance. One of the most important parts when it comes to freshies, because most are lacking. With Xerjoff Renaissance, I find that the first hour is quite potent. Like it's really, really strong. It engulfs the airspace and it almost becomes a little bit like, to some, maybe cloying. It goes from a citrus bomb for like the first 30 minutes, but after that, I noticed that the citrus kind of tones down and the other notes start to come out, adding a little bit of this creamy lemon cake texture to the lemon in here. The tangerine always being present. Or after the first hour, I noticed a little bit of the greenery coming out a little bit more. I noticed the lily of the valley. I noticed the petitgrain. I noticed the mint. It's a little bit more soapy. The gourmandy, almost like creamy lemon aspect is a little bit more prominent, but the soapy edges in the greenery start taking it over. So the progression to this is kind of quick, but in a nice way. Around 2 to 4 hours before it starts to back a little bit closer to your skin, maybe 1 foot plus, because the bubble it actually gives. It does give a nice sillage. When you walk by people, they will smell you. After 4 hours or so, I noticed that this backs a little bit more close to the skin. It's still giving about a half-foot bubble and giving me a total longevity of 6 to 8 hours, which for a freshie like this, I have no complaints. I absolutely love this. It's one of my favorite spring summer fragrances now in my collection. Before I give this a rating, I want to say that the scent profile does kind of remind me of Guerlain Homme style of fragrances. This is like a mojito in a bottle. This one is mintier, it's more boozy, but it has a similar style. It's not the same fragrance, but a similar style, and I think they took a little bit of inspiration from that here. So if you do have this fragrance, you know my opinion. I love this fragrance and I absolutely love this too. That is why I'm giving Xerjoff Renaissance an 8.75 out of 10. One of the best spring summer fragrances in my collection. I think a lot of people need to try this out. If you like spring summer fragrances or fresh, clean fragrances, don't skip this video right here. You will love this fragrance too. Thanks for watching, and thanks to Nefarious Saint for the peer pressure.